Today's video is going to be a more personal video, and it's going to be a period hacks video. Most of you guys, I actually think it's like 94.6% of the people that watch my channel are female. So you guys can totally relate to the fact that menstrual cycles are annoying, that Mother Nature comes knocking on our door, busting windows out of our cars without question once a month, and it's unfair. So I'm hoping that through making a period hacks video, it can help you guys out. I used to have the easiest period ever. It was light, it was no cramps, no pain, it was barely there. Like Mother Nature was like, you know what girl, I came to visit, but since I see you're not prepared, I'm gonna just stay out on your porch, enjoy the sunset, and then I'm gonna be on my merry way. But now she is literally busting through my windows, snatching my people up. I ain't hide my kids or my wives, and I'm just unprepared. So I've taken into account all of the hacks, tips, and tricks that I have started doing, as well as things that I have found online that might help you guys out, and I wanted to compile them into this video for a ultimate period survival guide. Now, if you're a part of that 5.4% of dudes who watch my channel, don't feel like you have to click out of this video. This is still important because you might have some tips that you could share with the women in your life, or things that you could do to help us out and appreciate us a little bit more, because we deserve it, okay? Without our anatomy, you would not be here. Just putting that out there. So if you guys want to see what hacks I have for you guys as far as how to survive your period, then just keep on watching. But first, you better hit that subscribe button. Get it. Let's get it, let's get it, Hack number one is to love heat. Anything that is heated is going to be your best friend when you have cramps. So whether that be a heated blanket that you can literally lay down and lay on belly first, or a heat pad, or some people even like to get like a warm water bottle and put that on their stomach. Any type of heat will be your best friend because it just soothes cramps, aches, pains, a whole 9 yards. And I also like to take really hot showers. I do this all the time, but especially when I'm on my period, it just helps you to kind of relax and just woosah, get it all out. It's worth it. Okay, the next couple of tips are things that you should or should not eat when it comes to your period. So I'm gonna go really fast because I'm not a nutritionist, okay? You might be allergic to what I'm about to recommend, or you might just not like it. But these are recommendations, okay? So take them with a grain of salt, but not too much, because the first tip is to not have a lot of salt on your period. You see that transition? It was just very smooth. Yeah, one of the things you need to avoid, one of the main things to avoid before your period as well as when you're on your period is salt. Salt is not great, okay? It leads to bloating and it leads to tender boobies. And we don't like that here, okay? It's so weird how one ingredient can make or break you, but it is a thing. The things that you don't have to avoid include bananas, which are great for cramps. B-A-N-A-N-A-S, that is bananas. Eat it all day, every day. I also recommend eating greens like kale and spinach, which are good if you have low iron levels when you're on your period. Sometimes you can get lightheaded from that. I'm one of those people that get really lightheaded on the first couple of days of my menstrual cycle, so it's really important to have things that can really be healthy but also up my iron levels. Additionally, some people have cravings for sweets on their menstrual, so I would recommend eating dark chocolate, which is a healthier type of chocolate to eat any time of the year, any time of the month, but especially on your period because it will help with your magnesium levels and it'll just kind of ease that sweet tooth a little bit for you. Next tip is to sleep with a towel, and I used to think this was something that everyone did, and then I talked to my friends and they were like, no, you're weird. Which I know I am, but still. It's important to sleep with a towel just because you want to be better safe than sorry, okay? So if you sleep with a towel, you don't have to worry about having those midnight accidents all over your sheets and then having to wash your sheets and be really stressed in the morning because you're also trying to get ready and be on time. If you have a towel, you don't have to worry about that, okay? Another tip is to wear bikinis instead of wearing actual underwear when you're on your period. Why? Because the material that most swimwear is made out of is easier to get stains out of, especially if it's like a blood stain. You don't want to look like a thug, like you killed a couple people. This is one of those tips I haven't tried. I found this online, but I think it is genius, especially if you feel like you do kind of have a little bit of accidents every now and then. It might be a good thing to try. Speaking of trying to prevent accidents, another thing I recommend that my friends also told me I'm weird about is to double up. Rather than just wearing a pad or a tampon, I wear both when I'm on my heavier days, and then I just go to one once I'm on my lighter days. And I just think it's safer that way because I don't have to worry about having an accident at all. Like, that stress is not even in my mind because I already know I'm covered. I already know I'm good, I'm Gucci. If today happens to be a really weird period day and I'm really heavy, I'm still good. Okay. The next tip is to invest in some lavender oil, whether that be like a sleeping spray or a diffuser oil, anything that you can smell lavender, even if it's a candle. Lavender is calming and it's one of my favorite scents, and I just think you should use this especially like the days leading up to your period if you're still PMSing at that point, as well as during your menstrual cycle, because it will really help for you to relax and calm down. But I recommend it 365 days of the year because it's great. The next tip is to make more time for sleep. This is another thing that I probably recommend 365 days of the year, but if you just want to do it during the period, that's fine too. I recommend this just because you need to relax sometimes and you really need to give your body a break and allow it to replenish itself, to get its battery charged, okay? And it's going through a lot when you're on your period. So I would recommend just not even feeling guilty about having to need that rest. Don't let anyone guilt you. Just rest when you need it and don't feel bad about it. My last tip, hack type of thing is an app. And no, this is not sponsored, although if you have heard of this app and you haven't used it, it probably is because you've seen a sponsorship on YouTube, because that's how I found out about this. But this app is called the Clue app and it is phenomenal. It's an app that's a period tracker, but it's special, okay? For one, you can track your period and stuff, and it'll give you predictions of when your next period's coming, when you might be PMSing, when you might ovulate, like most apps. However, it's more precise because you actually have to track your symptoms and your day-to-day things every single day, and then after about a month, it can start to give you predictions. And it's not going to ask you the basic questions of like whether or not you had cramps, whether or not you had to use a pad today versus a tampon. It's gonna ask you those questions, but it'll also ask you different things like your emotions, your hair, whether or not it was frizzy, dry that day, whether your skin was great that day, whether you went out, or whether you had pain medication that day. It asks you a lot of different questions that are things that apply to day-to-day things, not just your period. And it's great because once it gets more and more information, it'll start to see patterns in your body and will predict what your body's going to do next. It's great because it's like a little period fortune teller, and I have found that this works phenomenally in getting me to kind of already treat my symptoms before I even have them. So on days in which this app is telling me like you're gonna have a really bad day today, like you might feel a little bit tired than usual, or your skin might start to act up, all of those things I can see and say, this is because of my body, it's not because of me, and I can figure out ways to treat them, whether it be putting on another face mask, doing another hair treatment, or just trying to remind myself to be more positive than usual that day. This app is phenomenal, so I definitely recommend it, and I will link it down below, even though this is not sponsored. I wish that they would sponsor me because I really do believe in this app. But yeah, those are all of my tips and tricks on how to survive your period every single month. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys have any additional hacks that you guys do, make sure to leave them in the comments down below because I would love to learn those hacks, and I'm sure that everyone else in the Glam fam would as well. Also, don't forget to follow me on my social media handles so that way you can see any behind the scenes English, please, so you can see any behind the scenes things that's going on in my life on a day-to-day basis and stuff that I don't post on here. And with all of that being said, I will see you guys next time. Bye guys. Like, it just looks like I'm naturally a little glowy as opposed to I just put highlighter on. So let's try it on the cheeks. See what happens. That is beautiful. Do you see that? She glowing.